There is a place in the United States where you can technically live almost for free if you are willing to occupy abandoned property, haul drinking water from a well, and accept the reality that the island itself is slowly sinking into the ocean and may become uninhabitable within your lifetime. No, this is not a government program, and it is definitely not some hidden paradise being given away. It is simply a place so forgotten, so economically worthless, that no one even cares who is still living there anymore. Most people believe that free land in America disappeared in 1890 when the frontier officially closed and the era of homesteading came to an end. But what almost no one talks about is the fact that even today there are islands under United States jurisdiction where living is nearly free. Not because they are desirable, but because they are so remote, so abandoned, or so environmentally damaged that the land has lost nearly all value. Today, we're counting down 12 forgotten American islands where you can live for free or almost free. Here, the word free does not mean opportunity or comfort. It means abandoned homes that no one wants, land that sells for $1 at tax auctions, places where taxes are no longer enforced and regulations barely exist. One of these islands is literally disappearing beneath the water, forcing residents to walk away from homes they cannot even sell. Another offers property simply for paying years of unpaid taxes. And in Alaska, there are places so harsh and remote that something close to homesteading is still possible, if you can survive the conditions. If living for free on an island sounds like a dream, pause for a moment. Because in these places, free means no electricity, no running water, no doctors, and in some cases, a very real risk of dying from isolation. If you have ever fantasized about island life, only to realize that every livable island costs millions of dollars, go ahead and like this video. And subscribe, because this channel explores the few places where free still exists in the United States, even if it means accepting conditions most people would consider completely unlivable. Now, let's break down the reality.
Number 12 is Tangier Island in Virginia. Tangier Island is located in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay, roughly 19 to 20 kilometers from the nearest mainland access point near Crisfield, Maryland. The island can only be reached by passenger ferry or private boat, as there is no bridge connecting it to the mainland. Weather regularly disrupts transportation, sometimes cutting the island off for days. Around 450 people still live on Tangier Island year-round, down from several thousand in the past. Each year, an estimated 20 to 25,000 visitors arrive, mostly during summer months. The island is gradually shrinking due to erosion and rising sea levels, a process that has already forced families to abandon homes they can no longer sell.
Number 11 is Little Cranberry Island in the state of Maine. This small island lies just off Mount Desert Island and is approximately 5 to 6 kilometers from the town of Bar Harbor. Access is limited to small ferries or private boats, and winter conditions often make travel unreliable. About 60 to 70 people live on the island year-round, while seasonal visitors bring the total population up slightly during summer. Annual visitors are estimated at 3,000 to 4,000. Long winters, limited services, and geographic isolation define daily life here.
Number 10 is North Manitou Island in Lake Michigan. The island sits about 13 kilometers offshore from Leland, Michigan. It is accessible only by seasonal ferry service, typically operating during warmer months. North Manitou Island has no permanent residents because it is part of a federally protected national park. Approximately 10,000 visitors come each year, mostly for hiking and camping. Permanent residence is not legally permitted, and winter access is extremely limited.
Number 9 is Drummond Island in Lake Huron near the Canadian border. It lies approximately 3 to 5 kilometers from Detour Village, Michigan, and is accessible by a car ferry that operates most of the year, depending on weather. Around 1,000 people live on Drummond Island permanently.
The island receives roughly 25 to 30,000 visitors annually, many drawn by fishing and hunting opportunities. Winters are long and severe, and access can become difficult during storms.
Number 8 is San Juan Island in Washington State. Located in the Puget Sound, the island sits roughly 140 kilometers northwest of Seattle when traveling by ferry routes. Access is provided by the Washington State Ferry System, which runs regular service. About 7,000 people live on San Juan Island year-round, while annual visitors exceed 500,000. Once known for informal and low-cost living, the island has become heavily developed and expensive, serving as an example of how formerly overlooked places change once they become desirable. Number 7 is Isle Royale in Lake Superior. This remote island lies approximately 90 kilometers from Houghton, Michigan. It can only be reached by boat or seaplane during limited seasons. Isle Royale has no permanent population and functions entirely as a national park. Around 25,000 visitors arrive each year, mostly during summer months. The island is known for extreme isolation, challenging weather, and the absence of modern services. Number 6 is Attu Island in Alaska. Attu sits at the far western end of the Aleutian Islands and is considered the westernmost point of the United States. It lies roughly 700 kilometers from Adak, the nearest previously inhabited island. Access requires special charter flights, and there is no regular civilian transportation. The island has no permanent residents and receives virtually no visitors. Harsh weather, total isolation, and the absence of infrastructure make it effectively uninhabitable.
Number 5 is Shemya Island, also part of the Aleutian chain. It is located approximately 650 kilometers from Adak Island. Shemya is primarily military-controlled, and civilian access is not permitted without authorization. There is no permanent civilian population, only limited military or government presence. Due to restricted access and extreme conditions, the island does not function as a civilian settlement. Number 4 is Kayak Island in the Gulf of Alaska. The island lies about 70 kilometers from Cordova, Alaska. Access is possible only by boat or small aircraft, both highly dependent on weather. There is no permanent population and almost no regular visitation beyond occasional researchers or experienced adventurers. Severe weather and dangerous coastal conditions define the island's environment. Number 3 is Kuprianof Island in southeast Alaska. The island sits directly across a narrow channel from the town of Petersburg, separated by roughly 1 kilometer of water. Access is provided by small boats or skiffs, often used daily by residents. Around 20 people live on the island year-round. Visitor numbers are very low and mostly consist of locals traveling between communities. Despite proximity to services, constant rain and isolation shape daily life. Number 2 is Revillagigedo Island in southeast Alaska. The city of Ketchikan is located on this island, making it more accessible than many others. The island is reachable by road within populated areas, as well as by ferry and boat. Approximately 13,000 people live on the island. Annual visitors approach 1 million, though most remain concentrated in Ketchikan itself. Large portions of the island outside the city remain remote and sparsely populated. Number 1 is Prince of Wales Island, the third largest island in the United States, located in southeast Alaska. It lies approximately 65 kilometers from Ketchikan and is accessible via the Alaska Marine Highway ferry system. Around 6,000 people live on the island across several small communities. Annual visitors are estimated at around 100,000. While not free, Prince of Wales Island represents one of the most realistic examples of affordable island living in the United States, offering legal access, low population density, and basic services within reach. In places like Tangier Island, it is still technically possible to live with almost no cost if you are willing to accept abandoned property, isolation,
limited services, and the reality of a landscape that is slowly disappearing. This is not comfort, and it is not opportunity in the traditional sense. It is simply space that the modern world has left behind. If you want to understand where cheap or nearly free living still exists, not just in the United States, but also in Canada and the United Kingdom, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We share regular updates on overlooked locations, forgotten towns, and the realities of low-cost property in places most people never consider.